Hey guys, Dakota here. As many of you know, this fall is going to be the final season of Nikelab ACG that Errolson Hugh will be designing. What exactly does this mean for the future of techwear, and what does this mean for the future of affordable techwear that we have seen become so popular through the Nikelab collection that Errolson Hugh has designed? I think in the past 4 years, the Nikelab ACG has kind of shaped a lot of aesthetics and looks that we see in the techwear community. This was probably around the time where techwear started to go mainstream into streetwear and other styles of fashion, and it was probably with the help of this line that Errolson worked on, because the prices are significantly cheaper than Acronym and you're able to get a similar aesthetic. Whether or not you like the collections that Errolson worked on, you cannot deny the fact that it has shaped and influenced a lot of styles in techwear and Nike as a whole. One of the biggest concerns that I see a lot of people have is that it's going to be difficult to find these kinds of aesthetics in the future at the price point that Nike was offering them. However, I've noticed a lot of interesting things in designs that have been coming out in their main line, as well as the Nikelab collections that they have. I've noticed that Nike has released a lot of pants and jackets recently that have a lot of features and similar silhouettes to the previous Nikelab ACG collections that Errolson worked on. For example, there are a lot of new jackets coming out with jacket slings. You see things like the straps that Errolson implemented into the ACG line going over into the mainline Nike collection, as well as the other Nikelab jackets. On top of that, there have been a lot of cargo pants and woven pants that are coming out that have very similar, if not the exact same measurements and silhouettes as the woven and cargo pants that Errolson worked on as well. So what I'm suggesting is that although he is leaving, the designs that he worked on are archived and put away, and Nike likes to do this thing where they introduce or reintroduce designs over and over as the years go on. So I'm honestly under the assumption that they're going to continue to use some of his silhouettes or infuse it into new ones in the future. And on top of that, Nike as a whole is probably one of the biggest sportswear brands in the world, if not the biggest sportswear brand in the world, and they have a lot of data and research in this field, so a lot of their fits in general kind of are already fitting under the techwear aesthetic. For example, the Nike Tech Packs that are released every winter with the matching jogger pants and hoodie combo, that is seen a lot amongst techwear enthusiasts and the forums online. I also see a lot of their running clothes in the techwear community. So I don't think the hysteria of losing this era of Nikelab ACG is kind of warranted, because there is a lot of other options that Nike has, and like I said, I think that there is going to be reintroduction of previous designs like they have already been doing. What does this mean for the pieces that have already come out? I think that means that there is going to be a drive or hike in the prices of resale, because they are not releasing these collections anymore, so now there is more of a limited sense to them. Whereas in the past, it was kind of easy to get some of these pieces secondhand and for like 30 or 50% of the price originally. However, in the past year or so, I've seen that the prices are slowly going up, and it's hard to find anything under retail on the aftermarket. What I meant with reintroducing designs, if you guys have seen that complex video on the sneaker university that Nike has, then you know what I'm talking about when they reintroduce designs. I think that they archive everything that they've ever done, and whenever they bring in collaborators or whenever they're working on new models, they take out these schematics and some of the old designs and they kind of rework them. You see this even with the Acronym shoe collabs that Errolson worked on, from the Lunar Air Force Ones to the Downtown Air Force Ones to the Prestos. All he did really was rework it and change the materials. You also see this with Sean Witherspoon's Air Maxes and pretty much any collab that they have in general. I don't know exactly in legal terms how it's done, but I would imagine that everything that Errolson worked on is now owned by Nike, so they have the rights to alter it and reintroduce it or re-release it or do whatever they want with it. So I think if the demand is high enough and they realize how large the techwear community actually is, I think there's a good chance that they're still going to be giving us a few pieces each season that are kind of in the same vein as the previous Nikelab ACG. The final thing I want to address is the resurgence of the vintage ACG line. Now this is just referred to as the Nike ACG line. It is no longer part of Nikelab, which is semi-sad and semi-good. For the most part, I think that the vintage ACG line was kind of coveted, and a lot of sneakerheads and outdoors people really liked it because it was like a hiking line. I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing that they're reintroducing this, just because it's a different aesthetic than the Tech Ninja aesthetic that we were getting with the Nikelab version of it. I think that they're still coming out with cool pieces that I see people incorporate to this day into their techwear fits, and I think the future collections you will still be able to do that. Although The Errolson era of Nikelab is over. I don't think that his influence will be forgotten, and I think that it will carry on into the future of Nike's designs, most definitely. Let me know in the comments what you guys think the future of Nike is going. What other projects do you think Errolson will possibly get into outside of Nike? He's got the Stone Island Shadow project. He's still doing Acronym. Perhaps he will be bringing other lines of clothing in the future or working with other companies that we will see. I want to know what you guys think. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like and subscribe for more. And until next time, stay Gucci.